सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं यस्य प्रसादादहमेव विष्णुः मय्येव सर्वं परिकल्पितं च इत्थं विजानामि सदात्मरूपं तस्याङ्घ्रिपद्मं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्। योऽन्तःप्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। Now we go to the next fourth, what do you call the Prakaranam? The three Prakaranas in the Agama Prakarana, he established the through Shruti. Through Shruti he has established the stand of Advaita Vedanta. The Darshana was established in the Agama Prakarana with Omkara Nirnayam. We have seen that, by now, though we have given an alambanam, etc., if you have really gone beyond the three states of consciousness in your understanding, then it is not necessary that you have to chant Om or anything. You understand? Or you have to have some alambanam before you. No. But it is a Shrestha alambanam. Alambanam idam Shrestha in Kathopanishad. So, to those who need an alambanam only, the Omkara Upasana was prescribed. But suppose you have understood the truth of Vedanta and the Turiya state you have understood, there is no need to use it also. So there are people who say, we are all grihasthas, we cannot use Omkara Upasana, etc., etc. They ask such questions, and to them my answer is, if you have grown to that level, you don't need any alambanam, because at all times I remember I am Brahman. If you are in that stage of Sahaja Samadhi, there is no alambanam, no nothing. Everything, every intermediary help that is given to you is only as long as you have not reached that higher state of realization. Until that time, you take some support. The pole is used in the pole vault only as long as you reach the heights you want to achieve. The height is reached, what do? You drop the pole. You understand? So also, any upasana is useful only as long as you need it. Otherwise, it is not useful. But in the initial stages of our sadhana, and until I know that truth, see, very many questions of yours can be answered only from that standpoint. Why we cannot answer all the questions? Because the verse or the shloka that is given must be, the teacher is talking from there. And you are always asking questions from here. The realms are different. That is why answer never satisfies. It doesn't matter. One day you will find out it is the answer. You know, that is how it is. You are mixing up the realms from which we are talking. Oh, even the question whether the waking world is more real than or real, because you want to believe it is real. If I tell the waking world is not real, you feel really threatened. Is it not? You feel threatened. You feel my whole existence is questioned. So that is why it has been explained in the Vaidadhya Prakarana so elaborately why it is not real. It has got samanyam with the dream world. Yet the question doesn't go from the mind. You understand this? No, and you find out some little loophole somewhere where you can establish your theory that the waking world is real. I am sorry, it is not so. Okay? It is not so. Because for two reasons. One is, Gaudapada is talking from that. When do you know that the dream world is unreal? Only when you wake up. Like that, wake up from the waking world and then talk. You know, let us not become vadis and all, but that is said from the absolute awakening. Then we say the waking world also is. No, but why waking world? Little difference is there between waking world and dream world. Have you understood? Have you understood this? So, to the waker, the waking world is as real as the dream world is to the dreamer. When you are dreaming, if anybody says, hey, what stupid dreams, when it becomes stupid? Only when you wake up. So also, the waking world is real. How long? This you understand. That's enough. That's the answer for that. Prabodhe satya asat bhavayet. What you think as real today will be negated tomorrow when I realize my true manam, true nature. So until that time we cannot ask. Have you understood? So, always questions will be there. Samshayam is along with you. But all samshayams will be cleared in due course of your study and sadhana. So, have patience also, little bit. It will be cleared. It's not that a Mahatma is talking to us from some... Why we are not taking any book which is written by any, anybody, scholar. The scholar's book we cannot argue at all, rubbish they will write and whatever they think, interpretations will be there. We don't take those type of books for study. We take the books which are written by great, well-known Mahatmas. And Gaudapada, see in the Guru Shishya Parambara, that wonderful shloka is given. Narayanam Padma Bhuvam Vasishtam Shaktim Cha Tatputra Parasharam Cha. You have heard it probably. Vyasam Shugam Gaudapadam. Vyasam Shugam Gaudapadam Mahantam. And about Gaudapada says Mahanda. Mahanda means Mahatma. He's a Mahatma. Govinda Yogindra Adhasya Shishyam Sri Shankaracharyam Adha Asya Padmapadam cha Hastamalagam cha Shishyam Tam Trodagam Vartiyagaram Anyan Asmat Gurun Sandatam Anadosmi. This is our Guru Shishya Parampara, not an ordinary Parampara. We belong to a illustrious lineage of Gurus. And you can question in a way that you have the doubt, but they are not to be, those cannot be doubted. Their knowledge is not partial knowledge, their knowledge is total knowledge. We cannot doubt that. Alada Shanti Prakaranam it is called. This fourth Prakaranam. So the third in the Agama Prakarana was to establish the place of Omkara in the attainment of truth. In other words, Omkara Upasana Nirnayam was done in Agama Prakarana, and Shruti is pointed out. What is your Pramanam? Shruti. See, in everything there should be a means of knowledge which is valid. Otherwise, everybody will be, cacophony will be there. Everybody will be talking something. You understand? There should be it is from time immemorial, the knowledge has been kept in its purity only because of that. Otherwise, as many people are there, that many interpretations will be there, and it will be only a Tower of Babel. It will become. And he has in the attainment of truth. But the chanting of Om with contemplation on the waking dream and deep sleep state is only for the Manda Madhyama Adhigaris. Every Upasana is only for Manda Madhyama Adhigaris. And the Uttama Adhigari do not need such alambanam, for they transcend all the three states. They have gone beyond the three states. And now established in Turiya, understanding, I am that Tudya. If you are firm in that conviction, then there is no need for alambanam. That is what said there, all the three by understanding the Turiya state. In the Vaidatya Prakaranam. So, Agama Prakaranam is to establish the true place of Omkara in the attainment of truth. It is an upasana which will take you to the understanding of the truth which is pointed out in the Agamas, in the Shrutis. Was said in the Agama Prakarana. And the Vaidatya Prakarana, the second Prakarana, is for to establish that all external objects that we see are mithya. They are all falsified. Bhatakam. Yeah, they are. How is it falsified? It is true only this. Somebody said, somebody was making a speech. And then they said, this stone is of no value and people worship stones. Other traditions. And what can stone do to you? Like that, when they are vituperative, they will tell all types of rubbish. And an ordinary man was standing and hearing this. He took one stone and threw it at the speaker. He said, and he got a gash here. He said, now you know what stone can do. This is only a story. But, everything has value. Value addition is your problem. Suppose I see that stone as God, it is God. But if you see that stone as something to hit or another person, then it is a weapon. The same stone. You understand? That way, clear thinking is required. In Vedanta, that is the problem. Clear thinking is required. Not merely thinking anything. Purify the way you are thinking. Get clarity. Then you have no problem. I never hardly get samshayam, because what the teacher says, immediately I feel it is right. You understand? It is not that I have no brain or anything. I am not accepting that. But an intellect which is trained to think in these ways, then only we can understand this. So he says here in the Vaidatya Prakaranam, there is nothing, all external objects are falsified for various reasons. Adavandau, very many reasons are given. They are not saying, they are all false. We cannot accept. They have to give reason also. The reasons are also given. And many scriptural texts are quoted. Shabda Pramanam is given. Pramanam is given for my accepting that. So, it is not any single individual's opinion does not count. Accepted knowledge by all the existing seekers of that age is accepted. Now we are accepting what is accepted some thousands of years ago and tested in these thousands of years by many students. Time-tested knowledge. So, we also accept. That is easier. You understand? That is the way you must go. Shruti Paksha Tarkam. Shruti Paksham. Take the Shruti Paksham and do the Vada. In the Vaidatya Prakaranam, logic is used. Shastras and logic are both used to establish Advaitam in the third Prakarana. What is? The Advaita Prakarana. In this last Prakarana, all the opponents like Dvaidins, Sankhyan, who are the Dvaidins? Sankhyans, Vaisheshikas, Nayayikas, the 6 schools of thought. We have got 6 schools of thought. Sankhyan philosophical system founded by Kapila Muni and Gautama's Nayayika, Vaisheshikas, Sankhyas, Vaisheshikas and Nayayikas. Gautama is the founder. Kanada is the founder of Vaisheshika system of philosophy. All are logicians. These people are all logicians. And these 3 plus yoga, Vedanta, Charuvagas. The first one is Charuvagas. Who are Charuvagas? Charuvagas say, I don't believe in all this nonsense. Which nonsense? What we are indulging in, according to them. I believe only in one thing. There is one life, and one life I have got, and I will enjoy it to the hilt. And if you look at it from that viewpoint, I think majority of the modern generation is Charuvagas. What is their purpose of life? Khavo, pivo, what? Maja karo. Drink it and enjoy. That is their philosophy, called Epicurean philosophy. Now, Epicurean philosophy has gone from India only. Charuvagas. Okay? The 6 systems of philosophy. Among these, the Sankhyans, the Vedantins, the yoga system of philosophy, to a certain extent, yoga system doesn't have that much of astika buddhi, but they are all called astika darshanams. Astika darshanam means, actually, we have got a mistaken notion. Astika darshanam means that those who believe in God. No, that is not the correct definition. The correct definition is those who accept Veda Pramanam. Do you understand this? That those who are accepting Veda Pramanam only are called Astikas. Whereas Nastikas, because the opposite is Nastika, they are Veda Bahyam. They don't believe in any God. For example, the Jains, the Buddhists. I mean, Everybody has to believe in God in one way or other, but they do not bring it to the question of discussion. Like somebody asked Buddha, do you believe in God? Did I say I don't? He said. He's very clever. So then you believe. Did I say I do? Now what do you understand? This is how he retorted. You cannot say I believe, you cannot say I don't. But one thing we know, that the search has stopped even before God. With Samadhi, all search has stopped. They empowered the mind as much as they can, and that empowered mind, according to them, is the highest realization. But Buddha himself has gone beyond that. Buddha, like Gurudev says, Buddha is a Hindu, not a Buddhist. That is very interesting. In the lecture you heard, Buddha is a Hindu. So surely he has some faith in God and all that. But the system he founded denied everything. So much so today, they really don't know what is a concept called God. So they are called Nastikas. They don't have, and they do not refer to Vedas to clearing any doubts. Hence, what was the result? The result was a whole bunch of intelligent people. They created their own interpretations, and which is all not very. We cannot go into the study of Buddhist systems. You have to, if you want to have a clear view of everything. Nagarjuna, great thinkers were there among the Buddhists, and they all had Hindu roots, and they tried to oppose the Vedantic stand. They are called as Nastikas. And how many are there? Not one. Among the Buddhists itself, there are three people: Hinayanas, Mahayanas, Yogacharas. And one more is there. I don't know. Madhyamikas. 4. They are all. And Nayayikas, Vaisheshikas, because they are logicians. Nayayika, if you study Nyaya, you will be surprised. They never talk about God and all that. Only Atma is there. Atma is a substance, according to the Nayayikas. No problem. Substance means it will perish also, So, thus, the Alada Shanti Prakaranam is answer to such Dvaidins who are opposing the stand of Advaita. Like Dvaidins, Sankhyas, Vaisheshikas, Nayayikas, and Veda Bahya, Bauddhas, and the Shunyavadis, Yogacharas, Madhyamikas, all of them are Khandanam is done in that Prakarana. As long as the dream is there, there is bound to be ragas, and as long as and all other klesha. Not the dream is there. As long as the misunderstanding is there, there will be ragadveshas. Misconceptions are there. These systems of philosophy quarrel among themselves because they don't agree with the other person's point of view. There is vadam between them. So Nayayika will deny the truth of the Vaisheshikas, and the Vaisheshikas will deny the truth of Yogacharas. Like that, among themselves only they are quarreling. And what does Advaitin do? Advaitin just is a witness. Merely watches them fighting. We have no fight with anybody. Why we have no fight?
Includes everything.
We have a vision which is all embracing. Finished. So we don't no opposition. You quarrel. We will see the fun. That is the stand in which Gaudapada is going to take up this portion. Viruddhyade. In the previous verse only it is pointed out, previous prakaranam itself it is pointed out that they are anyonya paraspara viruddham. And so the vada is there among themselves. And that he says Advaita shows the relativeness of all experiences and never identifies with any philosophy, including even his own. Because truth need not have a particular stand. Truth can be by itself. You need a viewpoint and a stand and everything only if it is not the truth. What is not the truth you want to establish as truth? Naturally all this paraphernalia is required. But Advaita doesn't need anything. It is the truth itself. Hence, Advaita never identifies even with his own philosophy. Afterwards he says, what Advaita? In the last and final analysis, are you an Advaitin? No. Are you a Dvaitin? No. Do you understand? Negates everything including Advaita. Why? Because Advaita is the opposite of Dvaita. So, and has existence only as opposite. To give a word Advaita to one's own philosophy also they don't accept. That is what it's meant there. They deny their own philosophy, but they hold on to the truth. Nameless, formless, anamagam, arupagam. Anamagam means what? Is it Advaitam? That requires a lot of guts. Only the rishis could do that. So if you ask Gaudapada, are you Advaitin or an Advaitin? He will say, neither. I am a seeker of truth. That is all. Whatever, wherever is the truth, I stand by it. But I don't stand by any philosophy. Such great masters had lived here, such great thinkers. This land of ours has given birth to great thinkers. Okay, so then with his own philosophy, Advaita never identifies with any philosophy as his ego should be, I won't say, should be completely erased. There should be no ego at all. To be a true Advaita. And there are always spurious ones, that is different. When I stand by truth, then I have. So now I have learned that everything is Brahman. Is it not? After learning it, you can't say I am a Hindu, I am an Indian, I am a man, woman. All divisions. So what are you? I am the truth. Aham Brahmasmi. Do we have the guts? You need guts. Kashchis dhiraha. Only a dhira purusha can do that. Avritta chakshuhu amritatvam icchan. How to tell the glory of Advaita? This type of freedom to think, this type of freedom to be is not there in any other system of philosophy. You are free. Tomorrow if you say even Advaita is another system of philosophy, I am not belonging to that also. I am only a seeker of truth. And one who seeks truth must drop all his pet ideas, theories, conclusions, just like that, like hot potatoes. Very stunning, and very impossible. So the moment you say, you give an identity to yourself. If you say, I am a guru, gone. Why? Because then I am not the shishya. Or maybe even if I am the shishya, but I am not anybody else. I am not a grastha, I am not a vanaprastha, I am not a brahmachari. And what is affected by saying that? Huh? What is affected? Bhadakam. Infinitude of the Lord. The infinity is gone. What did we see yesterday? Brahman means all-inclusive. So you cannot take yourself out of it. If you take yourself out of it, Brahman's infinitude is gone. And what am I? I am a Hindu. Read Nirvana Shakam again and again. I am not a guru, I am not a shishya, I am not a father, I am not a son. I am none of these things, but I am everything. Then, what are you? I am the truth. This vast understanding should be there for a Vedantic student. We have got freedom in thinking. We have got freedom in action, everything. And we have the freedom to own the entire universe as myself. That is the greatness of it. No marking is there. Only this much I can go. No philosophy which says I can go only this far, not further. That is why all over the world, Advaita has a very great standing, because nobody can deny it. You cannot deny the truth. You can deny untruth, but you cannot deny the truth. So it is accepted that if you say Bhashyakarta to the Western world, only Shankara is there. No. Though everybody has written Bhashyas. Bhashyakar means Shankara. That is the greatness of Vedanta. And all the what is it? As long as Advaita never identifies, I am Naviruddhyade, came in the third prakarana, that the Vedanta never opposes any philosophy. But they oppose themselves and destroy their stand. And then Advaita says, see, I always told you, we are right. Okay, that is how they fight. They are not correct. Your stand is not correct. Anything other than the truth is not the right stand. It's not, doesn't depend upon any other yardstick. The yardstick is it truth? If it is truth, nobody can deny it. If it is not truth, it cannot. Nasado vidyate bhava, na bhavo vidyate sadaha. You can reject. Now he says, and he uses so argument is always with examples given in the in our philosophy. Alada. Alada Shanti means Alada is a firebrand. You know what do you call? Firebrand. Chuta parayum Malayalathil. In the village, you will see somebody will be carrying in the night. In those days, electricity and all was not there. So how do people go? No torch also. Firebrand. In English, it is called firebrand. Now the firebrand, it will be burning. It's the burning tip of the firebrand gives you the light. But when they are walking, have you noticed they will be doing like this and walking in the fields. If you go to the village, you will see all this. And because I had lived in a village in my formative years, so I have seen all this personally in those days. Nowadays, our children, if you tell them what a firebrand, what is that? They will ask. For them, the firebrand is the torch. Whatever. I don't know, you have got the point, that's enough. So now, when you make that type of movements with your hand, what happens? This burning tip of the firebrand appears in different patterns. Circle will come, is it not? Or a rectangular something will come, or various patterns. Like this, if you do, what will happen? One column will come. The column. These patterns are not real. There are no patterns at all. But they appear because of the only true thing there is the firebrand. But the appearance of the patterns is due to the firebrand, but they have no existence of their own. They depend on the firebrand for their very existence. And this example is the most beautiful example for telling you the mithya world and the true Atman. What you are seeing is only patterns. What pattern? Coming out of that, fire. That's for meditation, not for explanation. What should each one do? Meditate and find out. If he go on explaining everything, then there is no end to that explanation, there is no end to the samshayams. But when you start thinking, then only you will understand the identity of this drishtandam and the thing that is being described. So what is the alada? Alada stands for the truth, and the patterns made by the alanda stands for the pluralistic world. These patterns are different, and they are there only as long as the alada is there. Only as long as Atman is there, that all these appearances are there. Only as long as the rope is there, that there will be the snake or whatever, garland or bhuchidra, whatever. Satvastu must be there for a asat bhanam. For the asat bhanam, there should be a satvastu. Because from the existence principle only, even an unreal thing appears as though existing. That existence, even if it is a relative existence, it is borrowed from the existence principle of Atman. All these examples which you have learnt should tell you the relationship between what you are seeing and what is the truth. Is there a relationship? No. It's a relationless relationship. Okay. Let it be. If you understood, you understood. I tried. Oh, it is so difficult, Amma. Problem is you are only putting your... you are putting because you want, I know everybody, including me, wants a confirmation of all your wrong thinking. The teacher and the Shastra should go on underlining that. We can't underline because we are standing for truth. Sometimes we can, but not always. So then what is the remedy? Remedy is you also learn to stand by truth always. Then we will underline everything. Okay. Even the questions in the class and all that is like that only. That questions you will hear from the same person for the nth time, 100th time. Every year you come and you ask the same question. We have answered so many times. And in between, they have seen so many Mahatmas and everybody they have asked. And everybody has given the answer. So Gurudev says, these people have fallen in love with their own questions. They don't want an answer, he will say. So how we used to laugh. Gurudev used to say, they don't want really. Because it's not to clarify anything, but to underline their wrong thinking. How can any teacher underline that? So again they'll come back and I ask the same. I ask sometimes, how many times you will ask the same question? Not that you shouldn't, but it should be from your own meeting with the truth sometime. And the what do you call, the puri, the sparks that come out of that meeting should come as doubts, not merely airing something. Then we can't answer. Okay, which if you rotate the firebrand, it will appear as a circular fire, but the truth is only the firebrand, not the circular fire. Or any other color. Like this, if you do, there is some other, naturally, the swastik. Something will happen. Those patterns are not real. So also this world is not at all real, only the firebrand is real, and that is only the truth. The firebrand example is a beautiful drishtantam. Sometimes within the mind also there is rotation. The Allada not the only thing which is rotating. Our mind also rotates sometimes. And Advaita quite tends it. What is the purpose of studying Advaita and living it and understanding it? Advaita quite tends it. The first Kariga, so hence, is an invocation. Why should you invoke anything when there's only one? And you are that one. Where is the necessity for invocation in this? That is the usual procedure in writing a book. But this is part of the book. Why they are giving an invocation in the middle of the book? The beginning of the book it is okay. So there are students, there are scholars who think that Asadi Prakaranam is a separate book. Not the Kariga. Mandukya Kariga, but it is a separate book which Gaudapada has written, which we don't accept. How do you know it is not? Because if it is so, Bhagavan, Bhashyakar would not have written a Bhashya for the entire Karigas. Is it not? He has beautifully strung them together into a garland, as it were the 4 Prakaranas. He has written Bhashya for not only the Upanishads, but the 4 Prakaranas together. So then it is not a separate book. Why can't, if the teacher or if the writer feels like prostrating to the Lord in the middle, who are we to say he shouldn't? Now how they quarrel about small things. And he says here, the first Kariga is an invocation, but by time-honored custom, it is held as meant for achievement that one should honor the teacher. First of all, you have to remember the teacher. And secondly, you have to remember the Lord. Both of them are always remembered in the Mangala Charanam when a new text is started. We don't know. Maybe Gaudapada wrote this text after some time, after writing Advaita Prakarana. And he had put a Mangalacharanam there. That is my own idea. Who? Oh, Shankaracharya. Okay, whoever wrote it. Shankaracharya wrote because he wrote Prakaranam for this Aladishanti, he wrote Mangalacharanam for the Upanishad, and he wrote Mangalacharanam, not Mangalacharanam, the shlokas, Mangala shloka, in the end 2 shlokas, which he has never done for any other Upanishad. So you can imagine the importance in which he had held the Mandukya and Kariga. For a Kariga, he had written Bhashya, which is very rare. For Kariga is explanatory notes. You understand? For the Kariga of Gaudapada also, he had written Bhashya. That means both the Kariga and the Upanishad are held in great esteem by the Bhashyakara. They are not, and it is the very foundation of Advaita Vedanta. That is why. On the basis of that only Shankara had proceeded. Brahma Sutra and all came, earlier it was, but Brahma Sutra doesn't take the place of Kariga, Mandukya and Kariga. In making Advaita Darshana a valid Darshana, it is Mandukya Kariga which has helped, not Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra is only a commentary on the Upanishads. I mean summarizing the Upanishads. Okay, that one should honor the teacher. If there are objectives or at the empirical level, the prayer has a place. So, we don't know why he wrote a prayer. He felt like writing. That's all we can say. How do we know in this time and place? Wow, we cannot go back 1,000 years ago and say why he had written a prayer. For everything, there are volumes of pages written by the scholars. We won't go into all that. Then prayer has a place. The dream lion has a place in the dream. But to the waker, both are dream lion and the dreamer, both are false. Is it not? When you wake up, neither the dreamer is there, nor the dream lion is there. But to the waker, both are false only. When you have woken up to the higher state of consciousness, nothing is valid. What prayer? How can you pray? Even you cannot even remember the Lord. Ramana Maharshi starts his Sadarshan and Mangalacharanam here. How to do Mangalacharanam? So Ramana Maharshi says, Kadam Smaram. How can I remember that Ekam Purnam Brahma? How can I remember him? Tasya Smriti Tatra Dridaiva Nishtha. The only Smriti I can do is I establish myself in that truth. That is my Smriti of the Lord. Ramana Maharshi writes like that. Beautiful words. Someday you must learn Saddarshanam. And Saddarshanam should not be learned without teacher, okay? So we will meet someday, somewhere, somehow to learn Saddarshan. Saddarshan is directly from the heart of a man of realization. So it has got validity, 100% validity. We have to learn it. In my lifetime, I took it twice, one in Ramanashram and one in Madras. After that, I have not taken it. I would like to take such texts for the Vedantic students, but I don't know. Where it is going to happen, we'll leave to the Lord. Now you see, what is that first verse the prayer we will chant. Now, before we enter into the prayer, Gaudapada is repeating many of his arguments which he had given in the 3 Prakaranas in this Alada Shanti Prakarana. That repetitions we can just gloss over. There is no need to again and again describe the same. Punarukti is there. The main themes in the chapter are the unintelligibility of causality. The Karana Nishedham is there. First. Second, to explain the illusoriness of the pluralistic world, the Karya Nishedham. Karana Nishedham, karya nishedham. Then Alada Shanti, illusoriness of the pluralistic world by taking the example of the Alada, the firebrand, and to make a liberal, the third point in this Alada Shanti is that he had taken extensively, borrowed extensively from the Buddhist literature. And he uses many words in Alada Shanti Prakaranam which will need explanation for us because we are not exposed to Buddhist literature. You understand? All in Pali words. They are all in Pali language. So, not really Sanskrit. So, hence what happens is, why did he take those words? Only two explanations. Some people say at heart he was a Buddhist. That is why. Who say? Some scholars. Every time, in every age, there were people who were ready to condemn greatness. Is it not true? Great man is there, they will have to pull him down. Then only they will be happy. Such people are there always. So even in Gaudabada's time it was like that. And he is a Prachanna Buddha. All that type of things they said. But we Vedantins say, nowhere he is even for a shortest difference in his Advaitic stand. He is using the Buddhist words because the Buddhists only he is now going to fight with. And they don't know the Vedantic language. So he is using the Buddhist language, that's all. But he is a Vedantin, and on his theory only Vedanta is firmly established for thousands of years now. Okay, so that is there to establish that the supreme truth, Buddhist modes of reasoning he is using liberal use in this Alada Shanti Prakarana. So all this we have to expect in this book. We has used very liberally many Buddhist terminologies. It is not a blind borrowing, but in order to express his own ideas and shade of meanings lifted bodily Buddhist literature. And with that weapon only he defeats the Buddhist stand. So much for about the Alada Shanti Prakarana. We will do the first verse. Jnanena akashakalpena dharmanyo gaganopaman jnaya bhinnena sambuddhaha tam vante dyubatambaram. Jnanena akashakalpena. There is a story associated with Gaudabada that while he was doing sadhana in Badari, he was living in Badari and doing Atma Vijaram there. And he was a great worshipper of Badari Narayan. Badari, the Lord is Narayana Murti. So he literally, by his devotion, he pleased Bhagavan Narayana, and he had Naranarayana Rishis also, where there are two mountains there which are called Nara and Narayana. So Narayana gave appearance to Gaudabada and gave him this Karigas, as meaning thereby the knowledge to Gaudabada, and then he wrote the Karigas. You understand? So, in writing this Alada Shanti Prakaranam, he says, that is why I thought the prayer is by Gaudabada. It is the first Kariga. It is not written by Shankara because this prayer is to Narayana. Shankara never mentions any god particularly. Here, in the first, he had said prostrations to Turiya. Is it not? What is it? In that he is prostrating. But here, this is a specific prostration to Narayana Rishi. Then it can be only Gaudapada who had written it. We must come to a conclusion like that. So now he says, Jnanena Agashakalpena Dharmanyo Gaganopaman Nyaya Bhinnena Sambuddha Tambande Dvipatambaram. That Bhagavan has given him this knowledge, so he prostrates to that Adi Guru Narayana. We say, Sada Shiva Samarambha. If you are Vaishnavites, you will say Narayana Samarambha. It is like that. Or rest is same. What you call, whatever name you call the truth, it is all valid only. Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartas, they are all. I bow to that Narayana, Bhagavan, the best among men, Dvipadambaraha. Dvipadam means the best among men, because he was born as Narayana Rishi in Badari. Nara Narayanas. Nara and Narayana. All Kalpana only. Nara is man and Narayana is the Lord. As Naranarayana, Bhagavan took birth, they say. So, Dvipadambaram, Brahman is not limited by, hence almost not limited by anything. Dvipadambaram, Varam means best among the two-legged creatures, which are human beings. To be Dvipadambaram means best among them, best among the best among men, who by means of knowledge, what knowledge? Jnanena, all-pervasive Chaitanya. Jnanena, Agashatulyena. What is his knowledge? Agashatulyam. Gaganopamam, all those words are used. That is just like a space. Yeah, all-pervasive knowledge. Knowledge which is vast knowledge. No limitations. Satyam, Jnanam, Anandam Brahma. That Jnanam is what Jnanam? The very principle of knowledge is called Jnanam. Here, Jnanena, all-pervasive Chaitanya, Agashakalpena, like the Akasha, Gaganopaman, and the Dharmanyo Gaganopaman, and by means of that knowledge which is like space and non-differentiated from the object of knowledge. There are three things. What? Knower, Pramata, Prameyam, Pramanam. Now the Pramata, what type of knowledge he has? Agashatulya. His knowledge is endless. All-knowing Paramatma, which is of the nature of knowledge. Not that he has studied and got 5 PhDs. Only 5. There are thousands of PhDs to be taken. But when you take 5 PhDs, you are a great man in the society. Bhagavan, Anandam. What is his knowledge? PhDs how many? Endless, countless. Countless PhDs he has taken. Okay? Gaganopabam. Like the sky is his knowledge. Dharmanyo. And what is that object of knowledge? All these seeming jivas in the world, they are the object. And he says here, is like space and from the objects of non-differentiated from the objects of knowledge. There is no object-subject division. The objects are what? All the jivas. And the jivas are also Gaganopama. Jivas are also like same thing. If at all there are jivas, which we doubt, previous Parakarana said, no jiva is born. So, Sukshma Rupa. In other words, where the Tribhuti has become unified, the one who is the experiencer experienced and experiencing all have merged into one complete whole is that. That is that. And who is that? Narayana. He is praising the Lord in these ways. When we praise the Lord, we say, nice, Mekhavarnam, Shubhangam, Lakshmi Kantam. We know only our level. Is it not? When we praise the same Narayana, what do we say? Shandakaram. Because we are always disturbed. Bhujaka Shayanam. What is a Bhujaka? We don't know. Because that's the most terrible creature we can think of. And he is sleeping on it. Bhujaka Shayanam, Padmanabham, Suresham, Vishwakaram. We chant without knowing anything about it. This whole verse can be fully Vedantic. The symbols are also Vedantic only. He is blue in color. Why he is blue in color? Meghavarnam. Meghavarnam. Megha has two meanings there. That it brings prosperity and happiness to people. Megha always gives. But the color of the Megha, he also is like that. He also brings sarvahidam for all the people in the world. Sarvahida chintaka. He is the well-wisher of every being in this world. Is it not? So, all those, that very small verse, Shandagaram, Bhujaka Shayanam, Bhujakam. Bhujakam means snake, and snake stands for your ego. It has got two damstra, and they are called likes and dislikes. These two things of the... And he has conquered them, removed those two. Well, what does the snake charmer do? He catches the snake and removes those teeth. Then it cannot bite. And then thereafter, even the snake charmer's child can play with it. Is it that? If you have conquered your ego, what can you do? I can play with my ego. Sit there means it will sit there. Stand up and dance means it will stand up and dance. Beautiful verse. Bhujaka Shayanam Padmanabham. Padmanabham does not mean that Padmam which has come out. The entire vasanas are included. The entire vasanas of the universe is included in that Padma Sahasra Dala Padmam. And from that the creator Brahmaji has come. Why a creator has come? Because all these vasanas have to be apportioned to the jivas. Is it not? So he came. Padmanabham, Suresham, and he is the Lord of all lords. Meghavarnam, and a blue in color, because everything infinite in the world is blue. Is it not? The sky, which is endless, is blue in color. The ocean, which is the horizon of which you cannot see, is in blue color. Anything infinite in the world is blue, and Bhagwan is always blue in color because he is infinite. Not simply they put some color on the Lord. We have got as much knowledge about what it stands for as the fellow who has painted it. Meghavarnam Shubhangam Lakshmi Kantam. And he is the Lord of, not some lady. Lakshmi there means the wealth, the spiritual and physical, every wealth, all wealth are his. Lakshmi Kantam, Kamalanayanam Yogi Bhadhyanam. And how will you reach him? Only by dhyana. So, Every stuti is Vedantic. What I'm trying to tell you is that, and why he is wearing always yellow cloth? What, he is in uniform or what? Gurudev used to tell the symbolism of gods. There is a book, very beautiful book, Gurudev had written. So he says, the infinite clothed in the finite. Yellow is the color of the earth. And hence the Lord is clothed in yellow. And what is he? Infinite. Infinite clothed in the finite is the Ishvara, the God you can worship, the God you can love. It's very difficult to love Brahman, but somebody said we can, either can. So, Gaganopaman Jaya Jnaya Abhinnena Sambuddha. One who knows this has realized the nature of the individual self. Jnaya Abhinnam, not different from the Jnaya Vastu, the great knowable, the Paramatma. Paramatma, Jivatma, Aikyam is pointed out there. All three are Abhinnam, not different. I who am the worshipper, that which is worshipped, and that which is knowledge, Jnadrit Jnaya Jnanaswarubini Devi. In Lalita Sahasranam. Jnadra, the knower, Jnanam, the knowing, and Jnadrit Jnaya, Jnaya Vastu. And Jnaya Vastu is that. Everything abhinnam, not different. Who knows that? Sambuddha. One who had realized that is that Paramatma, Tam Vande Narayanam. That Narayana Bhagavan, I prostrate, is the first verse. We'll continue. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamada Purnameva Vashishyate.